Cam Heyward was fined $11,593 for taunting Josh Allen, and the noise from that hit and snap moment hasn't died down. What looked like a short sideline dust-up after a Buffalo touchdown turned into a league fine, an accusation from one of Pittsburgh's most respected veterans, and a storyline that puts discipline, emotion, and accountability under a microscope. Yahoo Thetao, it happened during the Steelers' 26-7 loss to the Bills. Late in the second quarter, things boiled over after a play in which Heyward said he was kneed in the stomach by Josh Allen. Heyward was visibly upset on the sideline. He confronted Allen face to face and later said the contact was intentional, even quoting Allen as saying he had to do something to get me off of me. Replays didn't clearly show the kneeing, and the league did not fine Allen. Instead, officials flagged Heyward for taunting, and the NFL followed up with the monetary punishment. New York Post, there are two simple facts here. Heyward got fined, and Heyward says he was wronged. Those don't cancel each other out. Veterans like Heyward operate with a different cost-benefit filter. He's built a career on edge-of-the-seat intensity and ongoing confrontation with an opponent's best player. From his point of view, a perceived cheap shot on a veteran who routinely mixes it up in the trenches deserved an immediate response. From the league's viewpoint, taunting is an avoidable escalation that can swing field position and momentum, and it's the sort of public conduct the NFL polices closely. Clutch points. What makes this more than just a fine is the optics. Heyward is a 5-time All-Pro, a captain, and the kind of voice in the locker room whose emotions tend to be read as signals. When he says he's pissed and accuses a star quarterback of kneeing him, it reverberates among teammates, across the division, and in the national narrative. Allen's response was measured. He diffused it publicly by praising Heyward's competitiveness and framing the incident as part of the game's heat. That helps a superstar quarterback avoid a distraction, but it doesn't totally erase the tension on the field. New York Post, let's talk consequences on the scoreboard. The taunting penalty altered field position and momentum in a game where small margins mattered. After the enforcement, Pittsburgh got backed up, the offense sputtered, and Buffalo capitalized en route to a convincing win. That sequence, a personal altercation that leads to a penalty, then to a swing in field position, and then to points, is the exact sort of chain the NFL wants to discourage with fines. In other words, the league isn't just fining for theatricalism, it's fining to discourage actions that materially affect the competitive balance of a contest. Clutch points. There's a deeper layer to consider. Quarterback protection versus defensive retaliation. Heyward's gripe touches a raw nerve with defensive players who feel officials usually side with QBs in borderline situations. Whether Allen actually need Heyward or not, the perception matters. It feeds a narrative that quarterbacks get implicit protection and that defenders must police themselves, which often means walking a tightrope between standing up for yourself and drawing a penalty. That tension plays out in every heated NFL rivalry, except here it also added a fine and a fresh headline. SI. How should the Steelers handle this internally? Coach and veteran leaders have a couple of practical choices. 1, publicly back your captain and reiterate a commitment to competitive edge while cautioning about staying within the rules. 2, emphasize discipline and situational control, reminding players that retaliation and taunting cost points and field position. Heyward's earlier public defense of Aaron Rodgers shows he's comfortable wearing the mantle of team leader. Now the organization has to balance supporting him with reminding the roster that emotional reactions can become tactical liabilities. Clutch points for Josh Allen and the Bills. The play is a closed win and move on moment. Allen's public tone, calling the back and forth a sign of competitive fire, deflects the story away from any suggestion of wrongdoing and back toward the field performance. That's smart PR from a star quarterback and a coaching staff that prefers minimizing noise. If the replay truly was inconclusive, the Bills will treat the fine as a win in the narrative column. Opponent fined, star unpunished, momentum stays with Buffalo. New York Post. Finally, what does this mean for viewers, fans, and the league? It's a reminder that NFL games are emotional, high-stakes theater, and that the league has an interest in tamping down the parts of that theater that change the competitive outcome. Players will grumble, fans will debate who was right, Heyward will feel justified in defending himself and fined for doing it. That tug of war between emotion and enforcement is part of what keeps covering this sport interesting. If you want the one-line takeaway, leaders get fined when they step over the line, even if they believe they were pushed. Cam Heyward's fine is less about the money and more about the message. Keep your cool, or the cost will be counted on the field.